Queso's not the biggest threat right now.
No, of course not.
And it is worth noting they are using a slightly different roster that we've seen in other events. They've normally got, I think it's, they don't have Dexy, and I'm going to need to check my sheet.
Tate. They don't usually have, as we are on board with two-time winners, DKG. That's a handy roster to have at the moment. He's averaging 3 eliminations, which is 5th in the competition, and the damage not too shabby in the top 10 himself. 4 to a car for XQF as they try and rotate to find their loot. They might have actually spotted Oasis and the boys of Fnatic. No, not again, Fnatic.
How much bad luck can they have? That'd be 2 games in a row that they've clashed with one of the Chinese teams early. I think they'll be okay. It looks like XQF are going elsewhere. Of course, as much as they're one of the deadliest teams, for one, they want to loot, and secondly, you never want to get into a gunfight when you're 4-1 car. That's asking for a squad wipe.
Fnatic have safely managed to get themselves into the yellows by the coast.
Whoa, speaking of the coast, the circle has popped, and it is very, very far to the west. We'll have a look at it on the map in a second, but there's a lot of water in it, and a good third of the circle is actually outside of the bounds. So this is going to be potentially a coastal finish here.
I think you'll find Gatka will be a very, very popular location. I don't think C9 will leave that open for long. I think they'll rotate down fairly quickly. If not, Tempo will try and find their way into it. XQF have actually
XQF might even just send it into Gatka.
Towards it. And maybe, I don't know if they're going to know if it's empty or not, or... Because at the moment it is completely empty. The middle of the map is... Well, the middle of the circle, I should say, is completely empty.
I mean, the thing is, the team who normally drop Gatka is XQF. So they will have an idea that most likely no one's nicked their drop spot, but they'll still have to be careful with it, and they haven't actually gone for it just yet. C9 are still hanging around in Georgia Pole, haven't yet committed to the southern shift, but they are moving down into the south part of Georgia Pole itself, where Unique is playing as well.
Quite a distance from Yasnaya to the circle, so Orange will have to get their skates on pretty quickly.
As will Synergy and Mega, all over on the eastern side of the map.
Yeah, Mega's going for that full Milter loot rotation, knowing that Milter Power is not taken, little Milter Power is not taken, and Milter itself. They're going to get as much loot as they can get their hands on. And there's a lot of it to be had too. You'd expect them to be rocking the full level 3s by the end of that.
You certainly hope so.
See Omen, they've taken the apartments and school this time around.
Tempo once again going unchallenged in Pachinki.
They're getting real stinky up in Pachinki, that's for sure. Low-hanging fruit, I know.
I'm not sure I can allow that, to be honest. You can do better. Expected more from you. Maybe we put some more hairspray on, the jokes will be... Sorry.
It's bleeding through into my brain, mate. It's
really
numbing it.
It's getting you good. Fnatic here still... Well, I say still. Luckily, they've been able to avoid early engagements with the Chinese teams. It was a bit of a near thing, but they have had some free time to loot on up, get the guns and whatnot that they need. 4 AM are now starting to move to the north, and I thought they were actually going to pass within spitting distance of, pardon me, of XQF there, but it looks like they've got some clearance.
Yeah, those two are rather close to each other. It looks like everyone's kind of spread out at the moment. FFQ still find themselves on the military island with DKG. They'll have to push across eventually. 2 players from Fnatic are posted up on that western bridge, just hanging out, making sure there's no silly buggers. If they went for that bridge camp knowing that it is FFQ and DKG to cross, DKG, of course, the current leaders in the lobby, and FFQ, they were sitting just off the cusp of that top 5 at the start of the day, so maybe Fnatic wants to play spoiler and try and ruin someone's day. DKG on your screens right now, their average rank is 3rd, which is quite nice. Average elimination of 8. That's kind of low, actually, when you consider some of the games that teams have had.
I mean... Considering that's a 4th, 1st of their 3 Erangel games thus far.
That's a pretty good return.
That's pretty good.
I take that every day of the week.
100%. So far, not too much action as the rotations do come in for our teams outside of the zone. Tempo, for what it's worth, have abandoned Pachinki completely and are already very, very central, in fact, moving in towards XQF.
Got to be very careful. XQF have a bit of a setup across Gatka. They're not all stacked up, and we see these from the Chinese teams occasionally.
Team Case are actually going for a boat rotate. They're going to go...
A boat-tate?
A boat-tate. They're going to go splitting 2-2 by the looks. They're going to send the boat out around and potentially all the way into South George and try and wrap in behind, depending on how far they want to go. They've got 2 on the road and 2 out to sea.
This is on board with Tempo. Rotating through 4 AM and XQF through
That's a very scary pinch.
They'll be right. Into the swampy area, it looks like.
She'll be right, mate. Oh dear, it looks like they are going to get away just for free. 4 AM might have heard the car.
Yeah,
might have heard the car motors, engines.
Don't
but,
know.
I don't think they got eyes on.
I don't know if Tempo saw 4 AM though. It looks like they might have, off the information, and they're playing for this hillside here. This is around this. Well, it's not really called Gakka Fields. It's kind of way west of Gakka, really. It's along that coast road. If a game ends here, you can expect to see a lot of slippery snakes in the grass.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of worms in the dirt.
Everyone ditching backpacks for lower profiles and hiding as best they can.
Yep.
Here is the circle. Once again, having a look at our teams that are yet to rotate in. Fnatic are actually holding off this bridge. They might want to try and stop FFQ.
I think that Fnatic don't have a lot to lose in this situation, really, do they? I mean, they are sitting about flush on the bottom of the table. So any points that they can get for themselves, no matter where they come from, would be handy. And of course, if they manage to trade maybe 3 for 1 or 2 for 3 in that situation, they manage to get 3 or more points. I think that you can call that a success. And they can anchor for placement points, maybe try and steal a kill here or there. But Fnatic need to change up the way they're playing, because at the moment they're getting caught in rotation. Their scouting player is getting caught every single time. That leaves them in a 3-man situation. As we see the elimination leaders pop up, DKG start to break in there and break up the 4 AM stranglehold on it.
You know what hasn't changed though?
Those top 2.
Is, well, that and also the Chinese stranglehold. All 5 players are from our Chinese teams. It's just, we've now got a bit more even representation with 2 of DKG sneaking in after their back-to-back victories here on the last game of yesterday and first game of today. So, pretty much as we expected, the Chinese teams are being given how dominant they've been in the server, it's unsurprising that they dominate the stats as well. Yudo,
careful jumper.
One player might get stuck here with Orange. Jumper's got to get a move on here in this buggy, but doesn't look like any fires come his way just yet, and Orange were a little slow to get out of their vehicles. But they did stop their vehicles and make sure they get out safely without just getting bounced into a tree, so that's not the worst thing in the world. But Orange actually look like they want to commit to this chase.
Not a bad shout. This is where we'll start to see teams getting a little bit more desperate, a little bit more silly with their decision-making. Try and take those one-man duels or even take those rotations out of play. Crashing into a rock is not really what you want to be doing with the UAS on a Sunday morning as the bridge camp commences. Scout's actually on the high ground on the bridge and he's found Dalai. FFQ have walked right into the loving arms of Fnatic. And another spray down from Scout. He's got a second. They don't know where he is. I think he could get a nice nade here if he manages to time it very well. Oh, it comes down back onto his feet, so he needs to be careful with that. But Chopper taken down to half HP. I think Scout knows that there's only one more player there. Taka at the end of the bridge. He's not going to be able to answer, and he's probably heard Chopper's footsteps here. He goes around the corner, spraying early. Doesn't manage to connect. But now he comes around the corner in full view. Scout takes down Chopper. That's a 3rd knock. It is just Tucker at the end of the bridge, and Scout's done himself a great deal of good here and putting Fnatic up off the bottom of the scoreboard. As Hades just falls to his demise into the water, offering up the box. Taka now with not a lot of room to wriggle around in. He's going to try and take it off, I reckon he has.
Gonna have to bail here. In the meantime, Uneven finds a knock onto Unique. Fnatic looking for this player. They want to try and find him if they can, but Taka in this position is going to be under the bridge. That said, he's not going to be safe here for long. He will try and play the angle, getting what cover from the bridge that he can, but Fnatic might decide to go and try find this. They know it's a reasonably free kill. He is stuck in the water.
I think they might have a clue now. Yeah, Oasis is going down, but I'm not sure if he's on the right side. But I think Tucker's on the right side of the pole to be hidden at the moment. He hasn't been spotted just yet. Tucker will be hearing the engine of the car on the coastline, desperately line of sighting it.
I think he might just be okay. The only real thing is how much time are Fnatic going to put into looking for this one. They are just about on the edge of the zone. If they cross the bridge onto the main island itself, they will be safe. So they've got a little bit of time to work with. No immediate pressure from behind them, but
here we go, neighbors.
I just hope they won't commit too much for one frag.
Ayla has been caught out a little bit, but he looks like he's making his smoke wall to make his escape. Got the cover, of course, from teammates on high. Now Cloud9 have piled themselves into a bit of a little stack. Ronak actually gets taken out by Tucker. Tucker hasn't quite got the finish on the kill yet, so the point still stands in limbo. But now his position's been given up. Surely we see the end of FFQ, and we do. Scout actually claims all 4, boosting his statistics and showing why he's been highlighted as a star. FFQ will hang up the boots early days. Maybe they're a little distracted by the performer. Too keen to go get an autograph and bowing out pretty early.
Perhaps. Fnatic, though, they do get that frag. More importantly, they don't sacrifice anything for it. They're not in that zone. They're not taking any damage. They didn't lose anyone. Not that you're likely to lose people to a player in the water, but still good to see that they are safe and will be able to get inside this zone for now, as you can see on the bottom of your screens there. That is an interesting shift.
Nice. That is a Quarry Central Circle at the moment, which is a position players don't usually like playing around because it's got so much high and low ground, so many different levels. The terrain isn't friendly for gunfights, it's not friendly for grenades, it's really just a mess, to say the least.
It is a little bit, I believe.
Oh, this was Scout.
Yeah, this is Scout getting so much work done.
That mini Uzi tearing it up. It's a perfect range almost. Hades was caught unaware. This was the 3rd chopper going down after a bit of ring around the Rosie. He did manage to find him eventually on the last bullet, it seems, of the clip. And that was 3, and Tucker made 4 for Scout.
And that actually, I know it might not last, but Fnatic are currently in first in terms of this lobby right now. They have 4 points, no one else has anything, so that's a nice little change of pace for them.
Yeah, take a picture. It'll last longer. I think Fnatic definitely have the ability, though. We saw that from Scout. Yeah, that was a bit harsh, actually. I apologize. But they do definitely have the ability. You saw Scout there, and the crossfire that they set up as well was very well played. They had the man on the bridge and the 2 on the front, and then the man ready to pounce as soon as the player jumped into the water. There's no shortage of skill in this lobby from any of the teams. It's just a case of making it all work together, really.
Now, what's the go with Team Queso here? They sent their boat up the coast. It's now coming back down, so I guess they're going to go jump inland at Primorsk, I suppose. That is the southernmost tip of the circle, pretty much, in terms of the land, but they can get there. C9 looks like they have a little bit of action close by, but not too much. XQF and Omen Elite.
Ooh,
actually, no. XQF and 4AM fighting each other. We haven't seen too much of these teams squaring off.
This would be a fantastic way to start Game 2 if we can get these 2 trading blows. I think there'll be no love lost between them at the moment. Asaki is in a wide angle position. If he gets spotted and he won't be able to get traded at all if he gets taken out. But of course, he will open up angles of attack onto XQF if he's left unchecked. On board with Mega, who had a fantastic Game 1 compared to their average standard. So a lot of these Southeast Asian teams starting to get a wriggle on too. Speaking of which, Yudu coming out as well. They're eyeing up these yellows, but they are occupied by Synergy, who haven't had the best tournament, as you highlighted there. Sitting around that 8th place all the time is...
This is an aggressive crash, Yudo, if you go for it.
This is very aggressive, but this is the type of action that needs to start happening for these teams in that middle of the pack or the bottom of the pack to start moving up. Of course, almost every placement secures you more and more cash money. And everyone loves a little bit of that.
Absolutely, it does. Synergy are opening up, though, and they've put enough shots into the side of jumper that Yudo are considering a different path, but they are committed here with at least 1 player, and now the rest of their squad is slowly moving in as well.
Ooh,
C9
nice
getting into Seoul as well, elsewhere on the map, and Uneven's going to confirm that one for free as Yudo and Synergy charge at each other here inside this compound. Everyone now within the yellows. No significant contact made just yet, but nades back and forth. Careful, Fredo.
That's big for Cloud9. They've been a team that's been relying more on placements than kills at the moment. They haven't been as aggressive as the other top of the board players or teams. So if they start getting aggressive and it starts paying off, they could rapidly climb this leaderboard and maybe secure themselves the top 3 by the end of this game. It is one big game that separates Cloud9, the North American hope, from the top 3 Chinese teams.
And it doesn't have to be a huge game for C9, it has to be a slower game for the Chinese teams. Austin is on 1 HP and he will be found as well. So Drax is going to confirm him. That is one of Synergy's players down, and the rest all spotted here as well. They could get some shots in as they rotate out, and they've actually chosen to bail from the car. That's very dangerous indeed as they look to fight it.
Oh, he's not quite lining it up. The driver's seat, this is a very dangerous moment. Chucking it in reverse is not what I'd be suggesting there. Servi gets out though as he gets down that defilade down towards the coast.
The riskiest J-turns I've ever seen.
Uneven actually taken out by Rain again on the sniper. British Strider pushing up onto the trade. Fredo, you're done for. Surely no, the Udu Drax is going to push in and try and catch Strider on the bolt animation. Doesn't quite get there. Strider closes the door on the ways out, preventing Drax's aggression. Strider hears the footsteps moving across. Drax has no idea where he is. Runs straight past him, but the shot's missing. Will alarm the player. The door opens. Now we see the face-off.
These two players in a dance throughout this house, and Strider's going to push in for it. Both players land a couple of shots. Could go either way, but Drax is going to grab it and the confirm as well. That's another one down for Synergy. Their last two players crashing in now, but Venom getting cleaned up. That's not what they wanted to happen there. It's Drax with another, so a lot of points now being gained for these guys as Synergy are down to just the one here. Servi on your screen, the guy who was running away with the fancy J-turn earlier. They've taken a lot of damage. Yudo Gank have grabbed 3 players. I believe Drax has gotten all of them. And this could be our second team bowing out of the final game of Erangel.
Take the shot, son.
That could be a big double with the VSS there. That's not something we'd normally see. I don't think he'll be able to confirm either, but he's putting the pain onto the players that knocked out his team.
They're in the zone, in fact, so this is actually quite devastating for Yudu, and the VSS, they're not sure exactly where the shots are coming from. That silenced weapon can be such a pain. Yudu are in a little bit of strife here. It's just going to be very awkward to pick the players up and rotate. And this VSS is paying DVDs.
He may not be able to get all the kills, but he's certainly going to put a lot of pain onto Yudo here. They have spotted him out, but again, as you say, inside of the zone, they are taking damage from it. They do need to get a move on pretty quickly here, but they've been able to get the reses happening, and Jumper is going to go for the solo frag.
Not sure if he's going for the solo frag or the solo rotate to try and buy position in this next circle. Maybe secure a compound for his team to rotate into. Servi is doing all sorts of shenanigans though, really ruining Yudu's day as Manprung tries to rotate past in the buggy. That's very dangerous stuff. He's actually going to turn for Servi. Servi on half HP does get taken down. That is Synergy out on 14th with not an elimination to their name as they were able to revive all the Yudu players. Meanwhile, in other places, we have Chica knocking out Tate with the DP. I don't know if that one's going to be finished off. It is. So Team Queso not finding their feet just yet, but Hasaki's answered onto it.
Oh, dear
that is a
me.
long shot too from Hasaki with a DP and a 4 times to boot.
That's an incredibly long range for a dinner plate, but he's making it work. Once again, it's the Chinese teams who are content to play at range and try and play spoiler against other teams. Tempo, they'll get that res just fine, but at least the pressure is still on. They do have a player out wide on the flank there. We just saw it as that player turned around. It's actually a 2-2 split for them. Rain and Chica, I believe, are the 2 players that have not been spotted out on this flank. So see if they're going to be able to find anything at all, as they do kind of have a crossfire on 4 AM.
Yeah, it's a bit of a precarious position for 4 AM. They might need a bit more careful, show a bit more respect to the opposition in the lobby. They aren't sitting with that first place buffer they once had. Team Queso starting to take some pot shots to defend their land. They, of course, are only down to 3 players. It's Orange now rotating straight past them. This is Team Queso's hometown. This is their territory. This is their drop location. So you'd assume they have a pretty strong idea of how to play the land.
You would absolutely think so, but pressure is starting to mount as there's a lot of teams coming in that direction. Orange and Fnatic both around them. Tempo with a few players around there as well, but need to keep an eye out on 4 AM who do have Overwatch, Yudu Gank, and C9. Potentially within eyesight of each other, but it doesn't look like C9's going to be given a chance for any shots here. DKG are off sightseeing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful view. There's
checking
actually
out the dock, jetty.
Nice jetty near my place. Bustleton jetty. You should go check that one out. It's fantastic. We've had DKG on our screens, working things out, just listening to some music as they cruise along the coastline. As things have slowed down here, just as I say that, a waste is actually in the kill feed, popping off.
You've done cursed it, mate.
Yeah, that's fine by me if we're getting action out of the curse.
OA is actually going to return fire here onto Orange again, so that's some damage done onto them. They are down a player now as well.
That's 5 points now for Fnatic.
Yeah, joining Team Queso and Sol as the 3-man squads. Fnatic actually putting some more damage here. They could get a whole bunch of points onto Orange, and that's what they were looking for. They've already got the 5 elims, as you said, in this map, and they'll certainly be looking for more if they can get it, looking to boost their points up as much as they can. I think Orange will just about have rotated through to safety, but it's a little bit close for comfort for them, and Fnatic certainly having a much better start to the game.
Oh, certainly. I mean, this is by far their best game already. And there's still 13 teams in the lobby. So there's plenty of potential for them to have a big one, such as, well, like Omen had before. And that really rocketed them up the leaderboard. So hopes are for Fnatic to replicate the form that teams have shown. As Beowulf gets picked off by XQF's order, and he looks like he might get confirmed as well. He has. So C9 losing a player early. This is not good for their chances moving forward. And order isn't finished. He is using that MK14, trying to take out Uneven too. You can see the zone shift on your screen, really favoring that southern side.
This is a bit of a nightmare for C9. Not only are they pinned down, but all the damage that they're taking is from one of the teams above them who they really don't need to be giving more points to. So need to try and get themselves out of this situation if they can. But Uneven's just taken another big shot there. C9 really struggling now as U2 have nailed them with grenades. Uneven's going to go down to that with the grenades coming in. C9, I think, are just done.
They're done.
I think they're out. 13th place for Cloud9. That is a disaster for the North Americans.
That's not what you want to see if you're a fan of the North Americans. U2 are on fire at the moment, replicating their form from game 1 of the PEC. I think Drax might have taken at least 3 of the kills there as well, so he could be getting his tally up quite high already. There are opportunities to come back on Miramar for Cloud9.
Game 1, for reference, was 12 kills for U2. So they're showing a bit of that here now, already sitting on 7. Still with 12 teams and 45 players to go. Much better for them indeed.
And they're back into it.
More damage here as they're looking to knock out one of Soul's players. Mortal crawling in the open, no cover at all possible. Jumper room confirm. It's 8 points for U2 Gank now. Doing very well indeed. Again, it is these kill points that matter more than the placements. They'll be very happy with this start to things. They need to be careful, though, but they've actually found the shot onto XQF. Never mind, I was about to say they should be careful as XQF are close by, and they have been good at these long-range fights, but it is U2 Gank who will open up with the first knock.
It's been Drax's game so far. He's managed to hit shot after shot, but Soul have gone from strength to strength. Well, they've actually gone from into the fry pan, into the fire. Suck manages to get the double spray down there, getting the car, and that leaves one player alive for Soul. So their game 1 success is short-lived as they're stretching out now, and Mega are getting pincered by Omen, it seems. Tempo are answering onto Unique at the same time, but it is the fight we're going to be following, the Mega versus Omen. Unique just around the corner as well. This is a disaster for Mega, who are a team that were looking to elevate themselves in the rankings. Omen had a fantastic game 1. They're looking to get some more points in game 2. They'll claim a few. Sixless, the stand-in, doing work. Carnage answering as well. Rain and Nico from Tempo are wiping out Unique, and U2 are now crashing into Savano. That's not someone you want to be answering to. Vampring will go down, leaving U2 with 3. And 3 kills for 4 AM early days. This is very reminiscent of some of their second game yesterday.
It is indeed. U2 certainly started off the right way, currently sitting at 8 frags, but they've given up a man to 4 AM. That's not what you want to be doing at all. Mega going to have one more knock. The circle is going to center up on Tempo Storm. They'll be very happy with that. 4 AM have split up looking for frags, by the way. They've already got a player in the center of the circle. The remaining 3 are together as XQF put more damage into U2. That's a team that, again, they had a great start to this game, but they don't want to go out too early here, and they're already down to just the 1 player if they can't get their reses.
Yeah, it looks like U2 just go out. 6 kills for Drax is going to get them some good points, but it is Scout that finishes him off. So Fnatic now claim themselves their 6th kill as Paraboy has the line of sight onto Omen. Carnage and Wi-Fi cowering under pressure from the star players M16. Not quite landing the shots, but he'll definitely be letting them know he's around and has the line of sight onto them. Unique only down to 2 players as well, just over the ridgeline. The zone has been very favourable for Omen today, and it continues to be as they find themselves inside the zone again. If they can clear out Unique, they have a free run into the centre.
Which is where Tempo are currently hiding, so things won't get easier for them, but the main thing is they need to avoid this pressure from XQF, and you can see that they're still taking shots on the way in. There you go, Mega has just been knocked out as well, so we're bowing out in 10th place. with no kills, unfortunately. That'll give them 1 point overall.
Unique struggling to find ground at the moment as Dexy has thrown a nade Stalker's direction and he's caught it with open arms. Orange going down very quickly. They're down to one player.
Fnatic.
Scout actually gets the knock onto Pop Pop, but Marco confirms Stalker with the nade of his own. Paraboy keeping an eye on this Omen fight as Pop Pop's confirmed by a Scout, so that's Orange down to one player remaining.
And 7 points for Fnatic off the start here. A big turnaround for them on the final game of Arendelle even, for this tournament. Unique now under pressure from DKG. Old Boy's been found and will surely be knocked in just a moment.
Ooh,
Rogue's actually found a shot on the tempo in the meantime, but only 2 players left for our European representatives, and they are taking a lot of fire. Surely it's only a matter of time before these shots start to land from Crazy. And there's a lot of teams who do have a line on Team Unique up top of the hill there as well.
Orange's last player is in a little bit of trouble as 4AM having
Surely
in the sides.
down.
Hisaki, yeah, it's all over but the crying. Orange go out in 9th place with no eliminations to their names. 4AM start to move up, but have actually been caught out as 2 of their players drop almost instantly. Spec and Coolboy combine to knock down 2 4AM players. Sixless has been found by Paraboy, and Scout continues on his winning ways of knocking players down.
Omen just can't get away from Paraboy here. He's actually pushed out of the building that he had, which it's in the zone now, so he had to move, but he's so determined to get rid of Omen here.
He sees blood.
He's looking for his players, trying desperately to find it. They look like they should be able to get the res just fine, but still need to be pretty careful here as your Team Unique are up on top of the hill. You can see it. They can't really rotate out of this position too freely. XQF are moving around to try and find the angle on that. You can see how far they're spread out as well. They've got quite a field of fire.
That is 7 of the 8 eliminations for Fnatic are on Scout's weapons at the moment. It's a massive individual performance from him, and it's something that they really needed to get back into this. As a waste does go down, the car explosion and the mini will finish that off. Don't know if Ronak's going to be able to get it there to revive him. He's throwing out the smokes, trying to create the wall, the cover, as Hasaki has lined up Chica as they start to rotate in from the eastern side. That tempo 4AM fight's going to be a big one. Breakout any moment, you'd think.
Yeah, 4AM are on the way in now. They're even sending Hazaki in first with the car to try and draw some fire, make some presence as the rest of his team, I should say, do push up with the guns. Hazaki actually just going to push in straight away and try and take this one out. He's got a nade in hand to help him find some space as well. He's going to cop a big amount of damage, but now he'll throw his own in. A tempo storm right on top of 4AM. There's going to be a big fight for them. And XQF could potentially come in the third party this as well.
Tempo are returning fire with grenades of their own, but they are getting knocked down very low on HP. This is a fight that's a big one for the state of the game as Paraboy gets a nade onto Carnage. Rogue gets knocked out by XQF as well. They're on the charge. In the picture-in-picture, you can see Order moving up. He's now just bandaging up, but it is Tempo Storm. They're under a lot of pressure. They're hiding in a little wooden shack. Scout gets another knock. That's his 8th of the game. He confirms it too. He's got another one too. He's up to 9 eliminations. 4 Scouts so far. Can he break double digits? We'll have to wait and see as Spec finds Fanovo. That's a good knock as well, returned by Hisaki. The flank comes out. Zinhi, 3 players from Tempo on the deck. Nico, the only one remaining. What can he do to hold on to hope for the North American team? Cloud9 are out. Omen on the brink, and now Tempo. They're circling the drain as Spec gets confirmed. Brain gets confirmed. It is Nico out and done. 4AM move through. Omen. They're down to 2 players as XQF have pushed up onto them. It is Zute alive at the moment. Wi-Fi looks to be confirmed.
Paraboy nicks it even from his own teammate, but more damage done by him. Our Chinese team's on a rampage here. 8 kills for 4AM, 5 for XQF. And unfortunately, for all the North American fans, it has been the NA teams that have been squarely in their cross. 9 gone, Tempo gone, Omen down to just the 1. As Sixless takes a grenade and is knocked down. It could be all of our NA teams going out very, very early here. That nade looks, I thought it was good, but won't clean up Sixless. However, it's only 1 player left for Omen, desperately holding on to it. It's Fnatic who are still the points leaders, though, with all of their early frags, sitting at 10 thus far, and 4 players still up.
Yeah, the Chinese teams look so strong at the moment. We've got 3 up for 4AM and then 4 for XQF and DKG. Fnatic, the only other team with 4 players remaining, really have to play spoiler if we want to see a region other than China take this game 2 of the day out, game 6 in total. Zute are left alone in the wilderness. Not sure if XQF know where he is. Unique have Old Boy as well that can play spoiler. He's in a fantastic position central to the circle. Fnatic aren't occupying a lot right now. It is DKG with the most territory as Omen bow out to the zone. And Jinhee knows and gets the nade onto Ash. This could signal the end of Fnatic. 4AM might play aggressive here. They is evened up to a 3-3. Scout starts to throw the smokes out. Has the idea of picking up his friend in Ash.
Look how confident 4AM are, though. They're already on this fight. And actually, they're engaging with XQF as well. Fnatic getting involved in this fight, too. All three Chinese teams are fighting Fnatic from very different angles here. DKG pushing around. 4AM trying to avoid getting crossfire there as well. Jinhee's going to fall back to his teammates. Doesn't want to get caught. XQF already moving in here as well.
Ooh,
this is deadly. All of our teams with the large amount of members remaining all on top of each other. 4AM and XQF getting stuck into it now as two XQF players are knocked.
Svanovo continuing where he left off yesterday. He's in a fantastic position. If he can win this 2v1, that will be XQF gone. And 4AM's hopes rely on Svanovo, you feel, as he gets the spray down, trying to confirm these two XQF kills in the distance. Paraboy knocked down, and Jinhee now gets under pressure, under fire, manages to escape for a little bit, find a little bit of respite. Fnatic pushing in from the southern side. 3 players strong. It is DKG in position, you'd say, with the spread of the zone and the players remaining.
There's still a possibility for our Chinese teams to have very big wins here as well. 4AM already on 8 frags, DKG on 5. Fnatic, if they can hold on into the top 3 with how many kills they currently have, that'll be a very, very big boost to their points. They've already got 10 so far. 4AM on the edge of the zone, taking a lot of damage here. DKG spraying away with the dinner plate, getting a lot of damage done there as well. That is 4AM really struggling now with just one player left.
That was a disaster for 4AM as one player was standing on top of where another player was prone. The spray led to both of their demise as Oldboy from Unique might actually be in here. If MadGG stops at the wrong opportunity, Oldboy could find him, but looks like Oasis pushed up into the clutches of DKG and claimed one knock and a confirm. Scout back on it. He's got Mox in the star from DKG. Scout, that might be his 10th kill of the game. It is, in fact, so he's really dragging his team along, kicking and screaming.
And this is top 3 secured for Fnatic now with 12 points. They're getting, at minimum, a 22-point game. They'll be very happy with how this has gone for them, and they're not done just yet. XQF and DKG are fighting each other. Scout has somehow found another one with the car explosion there. 13 points for Fnatic, and they're not slowing down just yet. This could be a chicken dinner for them. 2 players for XQF, 1 for DKG. They do cop a knock from Jimmy, though. These Chinese teams are not going to go down without a fight. We've seen that in the entire tournament thus far, and they are continuing to go as best they can. Oasis is separated from his buddies, so the res is not looking too good, but Scout is still up. He's been the really big player here for Fnatic thus far. They do have to watch out for that sole DKG player, though, in the smokes, out wide. That could be a bit of a spoiler for them, unless it would help Fnatic greatly if XQF go through and find that last DKG player here. Solve their problems for them.
Well, the backpacks are off. It's Snake in time. One of the star players, the leader at the moment for DKG, MLVSU.
Wait, Fnatic are going to get the res.
They have.
That's actually huge. They managed to sneak a player across in the smoke, and they're going to get to Oasis just in time. That gives them the player advantage back. Scout's gone down the zone. That's a disaster. Fnatic down to 1 player now.
That is worst case scenario as Oasis trying to crawl in, but Jimmy is going to finish him off. He bleeds out, and now Scout...
Ronak couldn't get the res.
Scout's on his first knock, and he's actually spotted him. Coolboy has spotted the last player from DKG. It turns to a 2v1 now. Ronak versus Jimmy and Coolboy. Ronak with the information. But I'm not quite sure he has the advantage in this situation. Scout's going to get confirmed out by the zone to no point for XQF.
Oh my goodness.
Spotted in the grass. XQF take their 2nd win of PEC. And that's going to go a long way to putting them in 1st place. Fnatic had an absolutely fantastic game, though, something they desperately needed moving into 2nd place with a lot of eliminations.
I'm not sure exactly how many it was. We'll do 13, 14.